Hi Tubies, and welcome to the next episode of How to Paint a Chaos Space Marine. This time we will paint an Iron Warrior Chaos Space Marine. Well, the Iron Warrior is all in all silver, and the only thing that is a little bit different from that is the bolter, and for that case I left the bolter away by building him. So, and the first thing I have done previously is priming the miniature in black. So you can use a normal spray paint primer for this. And then the first painting thing we will do is giving the whole miniature a dry brush with my own metal mix. I call it Dark Steel. It's a darkened down Boltgun metal. So just mix in a little bit Chaos Black into the Boltgun metal and you get this color. Simple dry brushing the whole miniature. It's a very heavy dry brush. We want all the main areas to be covered by this color. So the bolter itself I have hit previously with a gray spray primer, and we will paint them separately later in this video. But first we will make the first simple steps to paint this Iron Warrior. To be honest, Iron Warriors are the easiest to paint of all the Chaos Legions because of the metal. It's quite easy to achieve a nice visual effect without having much effort on the paint job. But there's one thing I really like to know. Almost on every video I upload, immediately 1, 2, 3 persons hit the dislike button. Even if the video isn't up as long as they could possibly have watched the video. And this brings me to the point that there are some who really hates me. But, well, what I would like from you guys that hate me, my haters, this is addressed to you. I have no problem with it that you dislike my videos, but I would really want to know what you dislike so I can change it. So, if you don't want to go to public, just send me a message and we can discuss this matter. So, that was the first layer of the Dark Steel. Now we will go ahead with the next dry brush step, and this will be Boltgun metal. Just take a little bit on the palette, wipe off here. For those of you that don't know how to work dry brush, just wipe off the most of the excess paint on your brush and then go back to the miniature. So when you go over the miniature with this old brush, only the top parts get hit by the bristles and the color will hit it and not the recesses. So now we hit all the top parts and exposed areas. But take care that from the Dark Steel also a little bit is left over, so we get a nice color transition. So, and for that instance here, I have a very old base coat brush with damaged bristles, but you can also use any cheap brush you can get a hand of for this kind of work. Don't do such things with your good brushes. So, yeah, I think that looks okay right now. And now to the last step, final highlights with Mithril Silver. That will also dry brush, but only on the absolutely top areas. For example here, top of the helmet, top of the backpack, here a little, all the areas that are really struck by light. So, and that's it for the metal parts. Be right back in a second. What it is now to do is to paint the gold parts on the miniature. And for that instance I use my trusty own gold mixture out of tin bits, dwarf bronze and burnished gold. And now I cover all the areas that need to be gold. Just simply paint on the color. Well, normally I would undercoat it with a brown or tin bits, but on an actual metal surface already this is quite easy, and this color covers. So I show you how I do this. This is just simple painting in the gold parts. I will finish now the rest of the gold parts on this marine, and I'll be back in a second. Now that the first layer of gold is applied, we will go ahead and give it a little bit more in-depth, and for that we hit all the gold areas with Griffon Sepia wash to give it more a rich tone. It's quite easy, just go over the gold parts with this wash, and at big areas like this, a little bit pooling, well, that's all it is. I will finish this now and we see us in a second. While this coat of wash is drying, we can now rework the black into the shoulder pads. And for all of you that always want to know, my main brush is and stays a base coat brush from GW. Sounds strange, but it is so. Yes, I know some of the brushes from GW are shit, but if you observe while you're buying the brush good, then you can get a brush that holds for years. This brush is maybe, well, 6 years old now. Not so long, but well, it's quite a long time I'm painting with this, and he serves me well. And if you take care of your brushes, they will take care of you. So, and when this is done, we will go ahead and highlight the gold parts. We will make here a little bit bigger effort in the gold than, for example, in the World Eater video, because, well, the whole model is just silver and gold, and you have to have a little something that stands out. And if it is here the gold, then it might be the gold. So, be right back. As I said, now it's time to highlight the gold parts. For that I will use pure burnished gold, and I simply hit the top areas of the gold with this mixture. Well, it isn't a mixture, it's a color. Anyways. So, a little bit here and there. Not everywhere, just on exposed areas. Need to be this color. So excuse me if sometimes the miniature will leave the screen. The monitor on my camera is on the left side of the camera itself, and so the camera itself blocks my view on the display while I'm painting. And so to see the display I always have to take my head back from painting and to watch on the display and to see if I'm still in focus. So that's the first layer of highlight for the gold, and now we will mix in a little bit of mithril silver into the burnished gold for the last and final highlight on the gold parts. That's how it looks like. It's like a white gold now. And hit here and there some strokes as shining highlights. And so all in all, the gold gets a very nice rich tone with some color variations in it, and that makes it interesting. Plain colors are boring to watch, so make it interesting. So I think that's enough for the gold, and well, the marine itself is almost done. I just have to paint the eyes. Well, we will do that right now. Wash out the brush properly. Then I take my dark red mixture. It's a mixture out of foundation Mechrite red and a little bit black. So, and with that I will paint the whole eye. Well, to be honest, this is a terrible eye to paint because it's so deep into the helmet. But well, what can we do? Just work with the stuff we have. So now we take our blood red. And mix it with the stuff that's already on the brush to darken it a little bit, but that's okay. Paint the front side of the eye with this red. Like that. So, yeah, that's okay. Now we need a white dot in the back corner of the eye. too much. Let's try this again. Well, to be honest, I don't like it at all. I will redo this off camera. Be right back. Well, I think I will leave it like that, with the dark red in the back and the bright red in the front. That's... well, on this helmet, it's no eye in there, it's just a hole in the helmet, and that's terrible to paint, but, well, we'll leave it like that. Anyways, so, the marine itself is done now. Time for the bolter. Here you can see the difference. I have primed this bolter in grey, because a black primer would be totally misleading, because we want to paint this thing in yellow. Yes, we want to paint their danger stripes, or hazard stripes into. And for that case, we will start with a base coat of Ianden Darksun at the whole cage of this bolter, to give it a nice undercoat. So, as you can see, I have removed the insignia here on the bolter to give a nice workspace for the heathered stripes. So I will go ahead and paint the rest of the cage. Be right back. The bolter case is now painted in Ianden Darksun, and I will go ahead and paint the rest of the bolter in Boltgun metal. And as always, that's a boring step to watch all the me just painting main colors in. I will skip ahead. So the metal parts are also done, and what I will do now is shade the metal parts with the good old Badab black wash. Be careful not to hit the yellowish parts of the bolter. So. And when this is dry, I'll be back. So, now's the time you've all been waiting for, watching me paint heathered stripes. For that instance, I use this here, a Staedtler pigment liner 0.05. This is one of the finest pencils you can find out there. And with that, I will go and mark myself where the hazards will be, the hazard stripes. Like that. And here. And in front there. So, and what I do now is taking black paint. Now I'm simply painting them in. It's easy like that. So I will finish the black hazard stripes now, because actually so I can't paint. I'll be back in a second. Now that the black stripes are done, it's time to work on the yellow ones. And for that I will take a little bit of golden yellow and start to highlight the yellow lines. simply go a little bit over it to give it a nice striking yellow color. Easy as that. And now we will highlight the yellow a little bit with a dot of white into the color. A little bit water. And then just a little line in the middle. And the headed stripes are done. Ta-da! We can now fit this into the hands of our Iron Warrior. I will glue this down now, make the base, apply a decal, and show you the end result. So, there you can see the model is based now and the decal is applied. As colors for the base, I used Bestial brown for the corner. Then I washed the sanded surface with Badab black ink, dry brushed it with Codex gray, followed by Astronomican gray. So, and now it's time for the last and final touch-ups on the model. We still need to highlight the black areas on the shoulder pad, and for that instance I'll paint in some lines in Codex gray here at the top of the shoulder pad, also here on that side. So, just like that. And now I will go in again with Astronomican gray and make an even finer line. Inside of it. There you can see. So, okay, that's enough. Here you can see I've made a tiny little mistake, but you can fix that with a tiny little drop of Chaos Black. So, and it's fixed again. Ta-da! Now we will give the miniature a little bit more depth, and for that instance we take our good old handy dandy Badab black wash, if I can find it. There we have it. So, and we will now black line the armor a little bit more, for example here at the hand, between the fingers. Here the pipes from the respirator. This little pipes here, down there. Just to give it a little bit more definition. Also here, down at the feet. I'll go over it just once. So, then here at the knee. Here and there a little bit. And that finishes the tutorial on painting an Iron Warrior Space Marine. I will now go ahead and give it a coat of varnish, and for this model I decided to use some kind of satin varnish. If you don't have satin varnish, you can mix gloss varnish with matte varnish, and then you can get your satin varnish. It's quite easy. Just one drop of both on the palette, mix them together, and we're good to go. So, and with this varnish, also the shininess of the decal will disappear, and we have a really nice miniature. So just heavy dry brush or heavy wet brush the stuff over the marine. And we're done. I'm back in a second to show you the final model. And there he is, finished and ready for battle in all of his glory. As you can see, I also added a little bit of flock to the base to give it a little bit more color. So, I hope you liked this little tutorial, and we see us in the next video. You're Alexandra.